And didn't you just issue your first scholarship just recently?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We awarded our first scholarship in the Cleveland area this weekend, or actually it was last week on a Thursday night. And if we have time, I wanted to read just a little tiny excerpt from the end of the essay.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is from a high school girl. This isn't from a constitutional scholar. This is from a high school student. So this is what gives me hope.
Yeah.
If we can get kids to read this book, they will attach to it. So this is what she writes at the end. I believe the founders envisioned a nation that would be everlasting and true to the people that reside in it, no matter how many generations pass through its systems. From growing up in a public education system my entire life, I never knew our country was founded on principles of such ageless morality and conviction. Wow. As I see times change and political parties take hold in Congress, I see how far away from pure liberty America has drifted.
Wow.
And then she goes on, I now see with an even greater intensity the tighter grip the government is fastening over our lives.
And this is a senior, a high school senior?
That's from a high school senior.
Wow.
And, when I literally was sort of brought to tears when I was reading this. This was the winning essay, and I thought, you know what? The other thing I want to tell people, don't think that one person can't do something.
Right.
Because, I read this book. I started a little meetup group.
Yep.
I met Yvonne Donnelly through Glenn's website.
Yep.
She helped me get on his show, which helped me generate some money and some interest. And last week I gave a girl $1,000 that wrote this essay and read this book.
Man, I'll tell you, Michael, that's great.
So you can make a difference. It takes some work, but
sure,
something to be said from getting off the couch and just being mad.
I'll tell you, Michael, we have often said out here that it really is up to us now. This is a we the people movement. Joshua and I are just average citizens in our Frederick community, and we both have families and full-time jobs. I run a business, and we find ourselves getting involved in what is really, in my view, a non-political action group. It's far more educational. We're trying to do what you're doing out here in our state, and that's reinvigorate people to think about these principles, because if, as Glenn often says, and as we've heard other times, if we don't understand the principles underlying the revolution in 1776, everything is going to end really bad. So it's really, really important that we get these issues or these principles down in our mind before we start thinking about any substantive changes to the way we live our lives now in America.
Exactly, and that's sort of the approach I took. I mean, everyone sort of takes their own avenue and things that work for them. You guys are doing this great radio show. There's people that are involved in local politics, state politics. I've got this scholarship thing I'm doing.
Yep.
There's huge organizations like the Heritage Foundation, and I do see a huge reemergence in people dying for knowledge of the Founding Fathers. And I think a lot of that is related to the fact that even though they came from a variety of religious backgrounds, a lot of their writings are based on Christian and religious and sort of undying values.
Yep.
And I think we're all sort of hardwired into those belief systems.
Yeah.
And so when you read their words, that's what's pulling you towards them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's really important. I agree totally that there is a reemergence, and we all have to stand up and do our part now. And possibly maybe the high school generation, believe it or not, is possibly, I hope, going to be the next greatest generation.
Well, I think the refounders are within that age group.
Me too.
Yeah, yep. I totally agree with it. The other thing that's been interesting for us is, and I've noticed this with a lot of these groups, is, and it's something that's uncomfortable for conservatives, is actually fundraising, because we're a nonprofit organization, so conservatives are used to going out and working for money as opposed to asking for money, but that was one of the obstacles we had a little bit, so people can't go and donate. We do sell, cool Forgotten Man T-shirts and stuff like that on the website.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so anything like that, that people want to do to help, because, like I said, our whole group and you guys and everyone else, we're all working full time.
Yeah, right, exactly
on top of trying to do this stuff,
Yeah, I always like to say I work 2 full-time jobs, but only get paid for 1.
Exactly. I totally agree. The other thing, I wanted to mention something. I don't know where we stand time-wise.
Well, how about this? Let's go ahead and grab a break, and then do you mind holding over through the break and getting into a couple other
that'd be
things?
Great. I'd love to. Thanks.
Excellent. We're on with Michael Jablonski of theforgottenman.org. Stick around on the other side of the break. We'll talk to them a little bit more about their scholarship, how you can get involved, etc. And if you're feeling forgotten by those on high, then keep it here, because you're listening to The Forgotten Men.
We're here with Scott Genthner from Monocacy Automotive. Scott, I hear you've got some exciting news.
Yes, thank you, Mark. We've moved to Buckheimer Road, just behind Boss Hoss Cycles, a more convenient location for our customers.
So whether a GM, Toyota, or Subaru, Monocacy Automotive provides complete car and truck care. So give Scott a call at 301-694-6842. Remember, he's right behind Jim Grimes' Boss Hoss Cycles. I'm here with Andy Smith at 270net talking about websites. So Andy, what should business owners be looking at when it comes to their websites?
I'll give you two services that are extremely popular right now. The first is search engine optimization. If you do a search right now and your business isn't coming up as high as it should, give us a call. We've had a lot of success getting clients to rank number one. The second is social media marketing. Every business should be looking at how to use social media to interact with its customers. We're talking here about things like Blogger, Facebook, and Twitter.
Great stuff, Andy. Sounds like you guys are keeping on the cutting edge and have a lot to offer. For more information, call 270net at 301-663-6000 or visit them on the web at www.270net.com. That's 301-663-6000.
This Memorial Day weekend, we salute the men and women who have served and are now serving our nation in the armed forces. This is 930 WFMD.